Josef Newgarden, you absolutely destroyed St. Petersburg in the best way. Led 90% of the laps, pole position, Grand Slam. Do we think you're going to be able to carry that dominance into another street circuit here at Long Beach?
I think it's possible. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I think we're in a good position to have a super strong weekend, and I'm excited to see how we come out of the gates here. But it's hard to predict. This IndyCar just changes so rapidly. You can have one good weekend or one good year, and then the next weekend or the next year you're in a different spot. But I feel the potential is there for us. I don't know if it'll be St. Pete-esque performance, but I hope it's there.
Two silly ones here. You've ran a lot of really good-looking liveries with Penske, and I want to know if any stand out in your tenure with them as a personal favorite.
I've had some great sponsors, great liveries, as you said. The PPG paint scheme is certainly one of my favorites. I think it's everybody's, when we go to a track. I love the Hitachi car because I just, when I think of my career at Team Penske, I really think of that car. And then the shell car at Indy it becomes so iconic to me personally when you win the race there. Then you're like attached to that livery forever. So that's where the shell livery stands out. But it was a beautiful car last year, and I'm glad that we're coming back with the same one.
I feel like the thermal test shell car from last year was also really slept on. I love that car. Sorry.
Agreed.
Last question here. Let's say you get to drive the two-seater and can throw any celebrity in the back seat. Who are you putting in there?
There's so many that I would put in. Just take the 100 people, list of celebrities, just put them all in it. I think they should all experience it. I don't know. I would probably. It's hard to just pick one. Gosh, I don't know. It's so difficult to pick one person.
I can say Taylor Swift for you.
Oh yeah, that's a great choice.
Taylor Swift, Josef Newgarden, guys.
I'll echo that. Yeah, very nice choice.
Thank you. Nolan Siegel making his Long Beach Grand Prix debut. How are we feeling, sir?
I am feeling great. Yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend. Happy to be here and excited to get going.
Already 2 races in here if you want to call Thermal a race. Talk to me about what your experience has been as a rookie so far.
It's been fantastic. Thermal was the first weekend that I did in IndyCar, so it was a bit of an odd one, but learned a ton, and I'm glad I got all that testing time in, and this will be an interesting weekend, being my first normal IndyCar race with, real strategy and a normal format. So I don't really know what to expect. It's still a lot of new things, but yeah, having a great time.
Weekend is young, but talk to me about what is the early bar for this weekend, something where if we're talking end of Sunday, you can say, I've had a good weekend.
I think it's really hard to put a result on the board at this point. We don't really know where we're going to stack up. But, I'm going to do the best that I possibly can. Team will do the best that they can. And I think if we can get through the weekend with no mistakes, the result is going to come. I don't have a result-based goal. But I think that if everyone puts in their strongest performance with no mistakes, the result will come with that.
Going to end on some fun stuff here. I feel like a lot of drivers have different ways of kind of staying in the game. Scotty, big Red Dead guy, and he'll just do video games all the time. I don't know. I'm curious to know what your between session ritual is, if you have one.
I don't really have a between session ritual. I feel like I kind of stay at the track, sit in the engineering office, and we can have some banter in there. That's the hang out with all the guys is kind of.
This actually might be the right answer, but I'd say so. Last question here. Let's say I throw you the keys to the two-seater. You get the chance to give any celebrity a lap around here. Who are you taking?
Any celebrity? I was talking about, I'm a big Curb Your Enthusiasm fan, and
Okay.
Larry David is the celebrity that I want to meet.
yes.
If I could take Larry David for a lap in the two-seater, that would be the dream. That would be hilarious.
That might be the best answer we've gotten all weekend. Nolan Siegel. This one was kind of a shocker. Jack Harvey back at the streets of Long Beach. It's awesome to have you back. How are we feeling this weekend?
Feeling great. I mean, like you said, it wasn't one of my scheduled races at the start of the season, but then Dale called me over the weekend, said, do you want to do it? And I was obviously pleased and thank you. And then I actually was scheduled to be here anyway to help out. So the only thing that's really changed for me is that, helmets going on, and then that's it.
You were also at Thermal helping Colin out with the 51 crew. Talk to me about what it's been like evolving and kind of being a part of this new team for this season?
Well, I think we need as much help as we can get right now. So, yeah, at Thermal, I was there helping Colin and helping Nolan. And then at the Indy Open test, I was there helping Nolan, helping Catherine. You know, so it doesn't really matter who's in the car right now. They're going to get my support just to try and keep the team moving forward in the best way that we can. And, you know, I want to do my part. And selfishly, I want to help them do better so that when I get back in the car's a little bit better for myself. So, I think it's, you know, it takes a village to be successful at this, and if I can help, I'm gonna.
I feel like every time I ask a driver about what is a struggle for them at Long Beach, I'll get 90 different answers, whether it's the fountain, whether it's getting traction out of 8 or the bumps in 9. What is a consistent struggle for you at this course?
I mean, honestly, I think being able to ride like all the bumps and all the curbs well without affecting braking. I think that's always been the thing that, you know, is that I have to spend a lot of time thinking about and accepting that, you know, even in turn 1 it can be a little bit bumpy sometimes, but, you know, the way you attack the entry there and ride the curb a little bit, I mean, there's a lot going on, so trying to find a good balance in the car, I think, is the first big thing. And then you mentioned some of the others, so, you know, it'll be interesting just to see how the race goes. Sometimes dead gear's not super high, so should be interesting.
We're going to do the hard pivot here. Scott McLaughlin has said that his big kind of between session meditation is video games, big Red Dead guy. I'm curious if you're also in that wheelhouse.
I've never seen anybody put Red Dead in a meditation category.
Just staying in like the flow of the race
Staying in the
weekend,
flow.
I guess. Yeah.
Well, so I don't know. I feel like the weekends now are so like compact that like there really doesn't feel like there's time to like do anything. And I keep telling Scott he needs to invite me onto his bus so we can like hang out and do stuff. But I feel like when the weekend starts right now, it's just go, go, go. During May, I think there's normally some like downtimes here and there. Madden would probably be my video game choice to go to. I used to be really good at FIFA, but I haven't played for a while. Yeah, I just a chill guy, really.
I know as a fact you're a big Pokemon Go guy, and I need to know as a fact what's like your top row, like ultimate shiny collection here. I need to know what's your prized possession.
Probably the Bagon shiny that I got a while ago. That felt pretty gnarly. I was pretty happy about that. And that was like, it wasn't on one of the like community days or anything. It was just a straight like, you know, shiny in the wild kind of deal. And then really wanted a shiny Growlithe. That was like my next thing. And it was on, there was a community day, but I was in the UK and I was traveling when it happened. I missed it. I was mad. I got a Tapu Koko shiny too.
Dude.
Yeah.
I'm giving you my friend code after this.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
nuts. Couple more questions here. Going back to racing, you've driven a lot of really good-looking race cars. Does anything stand out as a favorite from your history?
Just from purely like the car.
Purely
like,
aesthetics,
design.
like car look good.
Well, obviously our number 18 Invest at Dale Coyne Racing looks pretty good. I thought there was one year, I think it might have been 2021, our AutoNation Sirius XM car just seemed to really like pop and shine, and that was cool. And also I was just a big fan of the hub car. Like last year, I thought that looked, the blue and the white and the black looked really good. So yeah, probably something like that. But I also, it might not have been like the car that people are going to remember. In my first Indy 500, we gap guard was on the car along with AutoNation, and then people kept calling it the Neapolitan car. It looked a bit like,
I remember.
you know,
Matt, pull it up.
like, you know, that black, yellow, and pink. A color combo that feels like it shouldn't work, but maybe it did work.
It did. I think it did.
So, yeah.
2 more rapid fire. You get the opportunity to give anyone a ride in the 2-seater, celebrity. Who are you putting in the back seat?
Harrison Ford.
Dude, I'm liking that. Okay, last actual question. Favorite Pokemon generation and why?
Oh, first, original. Big Kanto guy, man. I don't know, that's just like peak vibe for me. It's like
It really is
nostalgia.
where you've grown up, because I'm a Sinnoh guy, so
It's fine.
I appreciate it. Jack Harvey, guys. Oh, Willpower, you're back at Long Beach. Super long history here. What stands out for you as a favorite memory at this track?
Winning here is always a great memory. It's been a long time since I've won a race here. I can't actually remember the year. It's either, I think it's like 12 or 14, I think. But yeah, cool place, a lot of history, and a very, very good venue, very good area to have a race. Pretty cool.
I feel like every time I ask a driver about what is a struggle for them at this track, I get a different answer. What is a part of Long Beach that you consistently have to come back to in debriefs, whether it's the fountains or the bumps at turn 9? What's consistently been a struggle for you?
Man, actually, turn 8's a tough one for me. The commitment into that corner where you apex the wall, and it's kind of downhill and feels like quite high speed. It's crazy. What blows my mind is how tight the competition is here, considering how many corners there are on the track, that many people can be that close. But it seems every year it's like, yeah, top 10's covered by like 2/10. So, but that's just, I mean, that's the great thing about INDYCAR right now. Anyone can win, and it's super, super competitive field.
You guys swept the top 4, minus second with Pato right behind you. But what needs to happen this weekend to carry that street course speed and pace for you guys?
I think we'll all have the ability to win, honestly. I think our cars are great. The engine's great right now. So I feel like it'll be a very competitive year for our team. You know, that doesn't necessarily say we're going to win every race, but I feel like if we do everything right, we'll be in contention.
Going to end here with 2 more fun questions. Been a long time guy with Verizon. I'm curious if you have a favorite race, year, season livery that you've driven.
Man, I would say last year the 22 championship livery was really nice, and the 14 sort of 2010 to 14 livery was pretty cool. So, yeah, it's one of those two. I like them both.
We'll have Matt pull that up. Last question here. Let's say you get to drive the 2-seater, throw any celebrity in the back seat. Who are you putting?
Ooh, that's a good one, man. I don't know why Brad Pitt came to my mind, but it'd be like a top-level celebrity that you get to take, man. Like,
I don't think we've gotten Brad Pitt before. I'm rocking with it.
Who's the biggest celebrity right now in the world?
Probably Taylor Swift, but
yeah, I was going to say that too. Yeah, I guess you put if you had Taylor Swift support, the series would grow big time.
Caitlin Clark, Indy Fever.
I don't know whether it'd be hard to fit her in. Like, she's 6'6" or something.
We get Graham in the car though. Like, she's a bit bigger than Graham, but
Graham, yeah, she'd be good. Yeah.
We'll power, guys. Alex, we were talking way back at Sonoma. Said the biggest thing you needed to improve on was qualifying. Qualified 15th at St. Pete. Worked your way forward. Was the only McLaren in the main event at Thermal and showed pace all weekend. What are our vibes so far for this season?
Yeah, good. I mean, I think that we had some issues in qualifying at St. Pete, but we had a top 6 car. So yeah, I mean, I feel like we've addressed a lot of the issues that we had last year, but obviously we've only really had one event, so it's TBD still.
We're not counting Thermal?
No, because I mean that wasn't an event. We were doing a lot of things as a team to try and answer questions and such, which you would only do on something that wasn't a points main event. So yeah, we're going into round 2 right now.
I feel like every time I ask drivers about this course and ask them what is a challenge for them, I get a different answer, whether it's the fountain or turn 9. What for you is something you're consistently going back to during debriefs, or something you consistently struggle with here?
I mean, it depends on the day, really. These tracks and cars are so temperature and wind sensitive. I would say historically, traction out of the fountain is the hardest area to get right and really improve. I can see the braking at 9 being a challenge. Turn 8, last year in particular, they repaved some of it, so it was a seam at the apex, which was quite challenging. I mean, every corner has its unique set of challenges. Turn 11 can be difficult depending on the wind direction, so it really depends. But yeah, I would say probably the fountain is the one that year after year is the most annoying.
2 fun ones to end it here. New livery for you this year. I know you were talking to Hinch about this maybe being your favorite. We don't have to drop. You can just give me a season or a year. Is there anything that maybe tops this livery?
No, not at all. I mean, my favorite car prior to this was the 2018 Napa car. But no, this is by far and above my favorite.
Last question here. Let's say you're getting to drive the two-seater. You get the opportunity to throw any celebrity behind you. Who you giving a ride?
Alive or dead, or
I'll take anyone, man.
George Washington?
That might be the best answer yet. Thanks, Alex. Romain Grosjean, back at Long Beach. How are your feelings going into this weekend so far?
No, it's always a good race, always a good vibe around here. It's a nice place to be. You know, we got the sea, we got the sun. We have a lot of fans, so it's exciting. It's a race that I've really enjoyed the last few years, so hopefully we can have a good weekend.
New team, new colors. Talk to me about what it's been like breaking in with the new team at Juncos.
It's been very straightforward and very smooth. I really like the guys there. I think they do a great job. We're one of the youngest and smallest team on the grid, but I think we can still do really good things. So I was very impressed with our qualifying in St. Pete, and I'm hoping we can carry that form towards Long Beach.
I wanted to talk about that because you guys have really shown strong pace and have been hit with some bad luck. What is your reaction to kind of build off of this going into this race and the rest of the season?
I think we're very young, so St. Pete was better than I thought it was going to be. Here I want to see where we are and establish the baseline, but I think if we work in the same direction as we did back then, we should be all right.
Let's talk about the track really quickly because I feel like every time I ask a driver, I get a different response for what's challenging to them about this street course. For you, what's something that you always got to mention again in debriefs or something that you're always coming back to for laps?
I think street courses is really the confidence in the car, confidence in the braking, and make sure you can attack the corner. I mean, there's no room for errors, so you really want to make sure that what you expect from the car is what you're having.
I think the last question here, if you, let's say hypothetically, you were driving the two-seater, you had the opportunity to throw anyone in the back seat, any celebrity, who are you picking?
Taylor Swift.
Instant, no doubter, great answer, Romain Grosjean, guys. Pietro Fittipaldi, I first saw you at Phoenix in 2018 for your first race at Phoenix, and now 5 years out, finally a full-time IndyCar driver. Talk to me about how that feels.
Yeah, I'm super happy with the opportunity. I remember that race in Phoenix. Like, there was so much for me to learn. It was like my first oval IndyCar race, and it's crazy. That was like 6 years ago now. So time goes by very fast, but to be having the opportunity to race an IndyCar full time is something I've wanted for a very long time, and I'm so happy about it. Very excited. My first time here at Long Beach. It's an iconic Grand Prix, and it's amazing. I can just feel the hype of the event already just being here for a few days. I'm looking forward to going out the track for the first time today and learning. There's a lot to learn. I don't know the track, so got to take it step by step and really push when it counts in qualifying and the race.
Let's talk about your expectations for this weekend because, again, 3 seasons on your record, but still your debut here at Long Beach. Talk to me about what you are most excited for this weekend and maybe what you're most anxious for.
Well, I think the most excited is just going out on track and feeling how the track is. You know, you see a lot of onboards and a lot of the races, and it looks like that street circuit where a lot of the drivers enjoy. It's very flowy, but there's a lot of like medium speed corners here where you need to have confidence with the car to throw the speed into the corners, and honestly, it's just looking forward to just evolving session by session, because the more laps you do, especially when you don't know a track and you're racing with guys that have done 10, 15 races here, it's like the more laps you do, you know, the more competitive you're going to be. So the focus for me is just trying to maximize as many laps as I can do in practice.
I want to shift gears really quickly to a new guy joining the grid for what might just be this weekend, Théo Pourchaire, coming from Formula 2. You spent a good amount of time climbing that ladder yourself. Can you kind of put us in maybe his eyes and what that transition is, jumping from a junior Formula car into an IndyCar?
Well, I think it's great that he's having the opportunity. He raced with my brother in Formula 2, and you know, I remember last year watching the Baku Grand Prix. I think him and my brother were fighting for P2 in the race and stuff, and it was very cool. You know, he's an F2 champion, and my brother actually got the chance to drive the IndyCar in October of last year, and he said the Formula 2 car is actually very similar to the IndyCar. Yeah. So he said, it's a car that has a lot of similarities. So I was surprised when he said that. But for sure, for Theo, it's going to be very difficult first weekend, like getting the first experience with the car at the race weekend at a street circuit. It's not an easy ask. But yeah, super cool to have him on the grid.
Going to end with two kind of fun questions here. You're running the 5-Hour Energy livery this weekend. Do you have, it can be any series, any season, do you have a favorite specific livery or driver suit that you've been in?
Well, the 5-Hour Energy car looks very cool. And then we had the purple car at St. Pete, which was the Oakberry Benostor car. A car that I won a championship with. It was in 2017. It was a World Series 3.5 championship, and it was a black and gold Lotus livery, and that was very cool.
Matt, we're going to have you throw that up because that sounds awesome. Last question here for you. Let's say you have the opportunity to go out in the two-seater and throw any celebrity you want in the back seat. Who are you throwing back there?
Oh, man. I don't know. Ooh, that's a tough one. Honestly, I love watching the Leonardo DiCaprio movies. So if I can have him in the back seat and be able to have a conversation with him after, I think that would be pretty cool.
That's the first DiCaprio we've gotten. Pietro Fittipaldi, guys. Kyle Kirkwood, you're defending Long Beach champion. How are we feeling going into this weekend?
Yeah, fantastic. Obviously, Andretti's been really good here in the past. They've won a lot of races here in the past 10 years or so. So a lot of confidence with that. But there's also a target on my back now that I'm the defending champion. So a bit of confidence, a bit of pressure as well. But excited to be back here. Excited to be back on the streets of Long Beach. It's just a fun track to drive in general.
You follow a really long line of Andretti Autosport drivers to win here. Obviously, Colton Herta, Alex Rossi when he was still a part of this crew. Team Penske's coming off a real dominant stretch, especially at St. Petersburg, first, third, and fourth. What is your guys' approach to bringing the fight to them this weekend?
I mean, just doing the same things we always do here. I mean, that's all it's going to really take, right? I think the year before I won, it was Josef, right? So they're always contenders. It's always hard to win a IndyCar race in general, but this one is one of our better ones. So just, I mean, doing everything that we normally do here is the important thing. Obviously, St. Pete wasn't exactly perfect by any means for our team, but we can improve off of it, and we feel like we're in a better spot than we were last year, even given that we still won here and finished first, second, and fourth. So we're in a good spot.
Let's talk about the track really quickly because I've asked a lot of drivers what's challenging to them, and I feel like I get a different answer every single time. But to you, what is a consistent challenge for this course, something you got to go back to in debriefs?
Yeah, I think the main thing here is the bumps, right? You got to respect them, and you're always trying to make adjustments to the car to make ultimate grip, but you also don't want to hinder what's going on with the bumps, right? So you're always playing this cat and mouse game with the setup and trying to get everything absolutely perfect, which is really tough. So that's what I find. Like the bumps going into turn 9 is like they're massive, right, under braking, and that's the lowest point of the car other than the front straight. So you're likely to hit them pretty hard with the bottom of your car.
We were talking about this. We have drift cars running this weekend. It's like caked in rubber there. Are you losing? Do you feel a loss of grip at all going through 9 or through the carousel there into the hairpin?
No. If anything, it's more grip. But I'd say in the beginning, like we tear up some of their rubber and then we add on top of their rubber.
Really?
So it's kind of give and take, right? Like I think in the first session. Fortunately, we're not the first cars that go on track, right? IMSA already did a very long session. They're going to do another one before we even go on track. So they kind of burn up all the bad rubber and just add good rubber to that what is already existing rubber.
Okay.
So it's actually probably a benefit for us as long as you get the track clean enough, right? Like if you go and walk the track beforehand, you'll realize that a lot of that drift rubber is just clag, it's just getting thrown up. It's not actually getting laid down. So as long as that's cleaned up, then everything's fine.
I want to end on two fun questions here. First of all, you're driving a car that stands out in the best way possible, Pink Auto Nation. Would you say that is your favorite livery you've driven? And you can give me a past car that you've driven that's maybe a favorite livery for you?
I mean, that's my favorite. That's my favorite livery by far. I really like it. It's the car that I won my first race with here a year ago now, and car I won my second race with. So best season of my career was in that livery. So I really adore it. It definitely grew on me, right? Like not most people were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go drive a pink car out here. But as I drove and as I got used to it, as I saw photos of it, I was like, man, this is a really good looking car. So I really like it. I'm glad that we're able to rep those colors once again this year, and hopefully continue to into the future.
Right on. Last question. If you had the opportunity to give any celebrity a ride in the two-seater, who you throwing in the back?
Ooh, I don't know. It'd probably be a comedian. I'm trying to think who. I don't know, somebody that's.
I can help you out. We've gotten a lot of Kevin Harts.
Kevin Hart would be hilarious.
Yeah?
Yeah, that would be a really good one. That's a good one.
We'll leave it at Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Kyle Kirkwood, guys.